The text came through at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. I wasn't supposed to see it. Mark's phone was face down on the kitchen counter, charging, and he was in the shower, but the screen lit up, and from where I stood loading the dishwasher, I saw enough. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. She's too old to notice anyway. The plate in my hand didn't break. I set it down carefully, dried my hands on the towel, and walked upstairs like nothing had happened. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat, but my hands were steady. That's when I knew. Not just that my husband was cheating, but that I was done being the woman he thought I was. I'm Emma, 41 years old, though honestly I'd stopped thinking about my age until Mark started obsessing over his. We'd been married for 12 years, met at a friend's barbecue when I was 28 and he was 32. He worked in sales at a tech firm. I'd been a graphic designer, freelance mostly, working from home after we got married. It made sense at the time, flexible schedule, no commute, and I could handle the house stuff. Mark used to say I was the calm to his chaos, that he loved coming home to me. But somewhere around his 45th birthday last year, things shifted. He joined a gym, started wearing cologne to work, bought new clothes, fitted shirts, darker jeans. I didn't think much of it. Midlife motivation, I figured. I even encouraged it. Then came the late nights, client dinner, networking event, drinks with the team. He started checking his phone at odd hours, smiling at texts, then clearing his throat and putting it away when he noticed me looking. One morning, I made coffee and asked if he wanted to see that movie we'd been talking about. He barely looked up. "Maybe," he said. "I've just got a lot going on right now." I remember standing there with the coffee pot in my hand, feeling something settle in my chest. Not heartbreak, not yet. Just a quiet, cold awareness. The night I saw that text, I didn't confront him. I waited until he fell asleep. Then I took his phone into the bathroom. I knew his passcode. He'd never changed it. Our anniversary. The messages were all there. Months of them. Her name was Jessica, 26. She worked in his office, marketing department. The messages were exactly what you'd expect. Flirty, escalating, explicit. But it was the other thread that made my stomach drop. A group chat. Mark and 3 of his buddies. Mark: Jessica's coming over Thursday. Emma's visiting her sister. Ryan: Dude, you're insane. What if she finds out? Mark: She won't. Emma's too comfortable, too old to think I'd look elsewhere. She stopped trying years ago. I sat on the edge of the bathtub, phone in my lap, breathing slowly through my nose. Too old, too comfortable. I looked at myself in the mirror. Same face I'd always had. A few lines around my eyes, sure. But I wasn't old. I wasn't invisible. I was just married to someone who wanted me to believe I was. I didn't sleep that night. Mark snored beside me like nothing was wrong, and I lay there staring at the ceiling, feeling like my body had turned to stone. I should have been crying, or angry, or something. Instead, I felt weirdly clear. The next morning, I made breakfast, kissed him on the cheek when he left for work. He didn't even notice my hands were shaking. I called my best friend, Sarah, the second his car pulled out of the driveway. "Em," she answered. "You okay? You sound weird." "I need to talk to you," I said. "Can you come over?" She was there in 20 minutes. I showed her the screenshots I'd taken, watched her face go from confused to horrified to absolutely livid. "Emma," she said slowly, gripping my hand, "what do you want to do?" I took a breath. "I want to be smart." Sarah helped me think clearly. First step, evidence. I already had the text screenshots, but I needed more. I went through our credit card statements, dinners at restaurants I'd never been to, a hotel charge from 2 months ago, the night he said he was at a conference. I called a lawyer, not someone we knew, a woman named Caroline who specialized in divorce. She was kind but direct. "Do you have proof of the affair?" she asked. "Text messages, credit card statements." "Good. Keep gathering. Don't let him know you know." I hired a private investigator. It felt surreal, like I was in a movie. But 3 weeks later, I had photos. Mark and Jessica leaving a hotel together, holding hands at a wine bar. I backed everything up. Cloud storage, a USB drive I kept at Sarah's place, emails to myself. Then I did something I hadn't done in years. I looked at my finances. Mark handled most of our money, joint account, his paycheck, my freelance income. But I had one account he didn't know about. An inheritance from my grandmother, which I'd invested 10 years ago on a whim, following advice from a financial podcast. I logged in. The balance made me sit down. Somewhere over the last decade, while I'd been too comfortable and too old, that investment had grown into $240,000. I stared at the number. Then I smiled. I didn't rush. Over the next month, I made moves. I opened a new bank account in my name only, transferred my inheritance fund there, moved half of our joint savings, legally mine, into it as well. I started going to the gym. Not for him, for me, because I wanted to remember what it felt like to do something just because I chose to. I updated my portfolio, reached out to old clients, booked 3 new contracts within 2 weeks. I bought new clothes, got my hair done, not because I needed to prove anything, but because I'd forgotten that I was allowed to take up space. Mark noticed. "You look good," he said one night, almost suspicious. "Thanks," I said, smiled, went back to my laptop. He didn't like it, I could tell. The power dynamic was shifting, and he felt it. 2 weeks later, he came home with flowers. "I've been distant," he said, like he was doing me a favor. "I'm sorry, let's reconnect." I looked at him. This man I'd spent 12 years with, who thought I was too old to notice, too comfortable to leave. "Sure," I said. I let him think he still had control. I filed for divorce on a Thursday. Mark got served at his office. I know because Sarah's cousin works in the building, and she told me his face went gray. He called me 17 times that afternoon. I didn't answer. When he came home, I was sitting at the kitchen table, calm, papers in front of me. "What the hell is this, Emma?" he said, holding the envelope. "It's a divorce petition," I said evenly. "I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Over what? We can work through whatever. You've been sleeping with Jessica from your office for 5 months. Don't insult me by pretending you don't know what this is about." His face changed. Panic. "Emma, listen, it didn't mean anything. She's just too young to know better." Funny, I'm apparently too old to notice, but somehow I managed. He stared at me. I slid a folder across the table. Text messages, credit card statements, photos. My lawyer has copies. So does my cloud storage. If you try to fight me on this, I'll make sure Jessica's HR department gets them too.
"You can't." "I already did," I said. "I also moved my assets into a separate account. You'll find the joint savings is lighter. That's my half. Legally." "What assets?" he said, voice rising. "You don't have—" "Turns out I do." I stood up. "My grandmother's inheritance, the one I invested. It's worth $250,000 now. You didn't even know about it, did you?" His mouth opened, closed. "You thought I was just here," I said quietly. "Comfortable, old, waiting around while you found someone younger. But I'm not the woman you think I am, Mark. I never was." The divorce took 4 months. Mark tried to fight it at first, denied the affair, said I was overreacting. Then Jessica's boyfriend found out. Turns out she'd been playing both of them. She broke it off with Mark via text, and he spiraled. He called me drunk 2 months into the proceedings. "I made a mistake," he said, voice cracking. Emma, please, I love you. I didn't mean what I said. Yes, you did, and that's okay, because I deserve better. I hung up. The settlement was fair. I kept the house, bought him out with part of my investment fund. He kept his 401k. No alimony either way. His friends stopped calling him. Word got around about the affair. Turns out, nobody likes the guy who cheats on his wife and brags about it. Jessica left the company. Mark's still there, but from what I hear, he's miserable. I wouldn't know. I blocked him on everything. It's been a year now. I'm doing well. Better than well, actually. My design business is thriving. I hired an assistant, bought a new car, took a solo trip to Portugal, and didn't think about Mark once. I'm not the same woman I was when I saw that text on his phone. But honestly, I think I'm finally the woman I was always supposed to be. People ask me if I regret the marriage, if I'm angry. I'm not. Not anymore. Because here's what I learned. Someone else's cruelty doesn't define your worth. Mark thought I was too old to be loved, too comfortable to fight back. He was wrong. And the best revenge wasn't destroying him, it was remembering that I never needed him to be whole in the first place. I'm 42 now, and I've never felt younger.